Today, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio underlined the importance of India to American foreign policy. Speaking at a Senate Foreign Relations Committee hearing for President Trump's nominee for U.S. Ambassador to India, Sergio Gor, Rubio described India as one of the top relationships that the United States has in the world today. The hearing focused on Gor's nomination and his vision for the U.S.-India partnership. Gor highlighted three main areas: defense cooperation, trade ties, and technology partnerships. He stressed that the two nations are not that far apart on most trade and security issues, suggesting that future negotiations may bring concrete agreements. Rubio's remarks are seen as more than symbolic. Analysts note that Washington is sending a clear message that India remains central to U.S. strategy in the Indo-Pacific region. Strengthened defense cooperation could mean deeper interoperability between the two militaries, while trade deals may boost both economies. Indian media welcomed the comments, framing them as recognition of India's growing global status. At the same time, experts say the move could cause unease among rival powers who view closer U.S.-India ties as a counterbalance to their influence in Asia. For AD tech sports and news viewers, the story signals a turning point in U.S.-India relations, with likely impacts on defense contracts, technology exchanges, and future trade agreements. Headline 2: Financial markets brace for renewed U.S. dollar slide. Global financial markets are watching the U.S. dollar closely after fresh signs suggest that its recent period of stability may not last. The greenback had steadied in recent weeks after sharp declines earlier this year. However, new data has revived concerns that the dollar slide could resume. Analysts point to a combination of factors: a slightly hotter than expected inflation reading in August, a rise in U.S. jobless claims, raising questions about labor market strength, market speculation that the Federal Reserve may cut interest rates sooner than expected. When investors believe the Fed will lower rates, the dollar usually weakens because U.S. assets become less attractive compared to those in other markets. For the global economy, a weaker dollar has mixed effects. On one hand, it eases debt burden for emerging markets that borrow in U.S. dollars and supports commodity prices. On the other, it raises import costs for some nations and can fuel inflation abroad. Currency experts warn that while the dollar could continue to fall, any global crisis or sudden surge in U.S. economic data might quickly strengthen it again, as investors often rush to the dollar as a safe haven. For AD Tech Sports and News, the takeaway is clear: markets are entering a period of uncertainty. Traders, investors, and governments alike will be watching every U.S. economic release for clues on the Fed's next move. Conclusion: these two developments, one in diplomacy, the other in financial markets, highlight the fast-changing nature of today's world. On the political stage, Washington is signaling a long-term bet on India as a strategic partner. On the financial stage, the dollar's direction remains uncertain, with implications for economy